Hello everyone, my name is Feisal and welcome to Berkshire Media. Today we are very privileged to have a very special guest in today. Kellie Boyd, have I got that right?
You have got that right.
And you've got a really cool business with a really cool name.
I like to think so, yes.
And that is?
It is Bridezilla.
Bridezilla. Now I'm thinking TV programmes.
It is actually a TV programme. I think it's an American TV programme called Bridezilla. I've seen that before.
It is quite a scary name, isn't it?
It is. And I think it's a name that people do associate with scary people or scary brides. But, you know, my philosophy around that wording and that name was more because I target more brides that I would say are more particular. So we like the ones that are just a little bit more kind of, you know, expect the best, want the best, not necessarily horrible brides at all. We don't want bridezillas.
Horrible brides?
We don't want those. God. No, we just want people that, you know, brides that are very particular about what they want. They want the best for their wedding day, and that's what we deliver.
Brilliant. Well, look, let's go back to the beginning then. So tell us about yourself, Kellie, and how did you get to Bridezilla?
How did I get to Bridezilla? Well, I've been hairdressing since I left school. So as soon as I was 16, I decided I didn't want to be at school anymore, and I went into a hair salon and just started my career. And not long after, I came to discover bridal hairstyling, and that was something that I absolutely found was my passion. I just loved it. So my boss at the time started to just say, do you know, come and do some weddings with us, assist, you know, just pass up grips, all that kind of stuff. And it was then when I first went and did my first wedding morning that I was like, wow, this is amazing. I love this whole buzz, this whole adrenaline, you know, it's so much fun. So I decided that's the kind of route I wanted to go down and specialise in more. But obviously, you know, over the years, I did all aspects of hairdressing. So Bridezilla really came about probably only about 15 years ago, and it started really as just a Facebook page. I mean, it wasn't a separate business. It was just more like my idea of a little side hustle on top of what I was doing already. And I thought, if I just have a separate page just for weddings, and I can, you know, post all my pictures and things on there. And it just kind of went from there. So it was just a tongue-in-cheek name, I suppose, for a Facebook page. I'm like, what can I call my Facebook page? And I don't know, I'm just going to call it Bridezilla.
It's quite memorable, though, isn't it? I mean, people remember that.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's one of those names that as the brand grew and became more, you know, my local area, and people were recommending, oh, Bridezilla, the name just stuck. And I think it's just one that people remember. I find that there's a lot of hair and makeup artists out there, which, you know, no disrespect to them, but you know, they just use their name, and sometimes in especially the way things are going now, those names can kind of get lost, whereas I feel like Bridezilla does stand out.
Well, it's a brand. I mean, you're turning this into a brand, aren't you?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's, you know, it's growing. I think I had a little wobble in lockdown when obviously I had nothing else to do and lots of time to think about things and the brand, and I thought, you know, is this the time to like maybe completely rebrand and change the name and change everything? And I put a little poll out, you know, to all my followers and just kind of get people's opinions, and everyone was like, do not change that name, you know, we love that name. And you know, clients have come to me and said, oh, I was searching bridal hair and makeup artists, your name popped up, and straight away I was like, I want to go with them, you know, they sound like fun. So I think the name is definitely here to stay.
That's for sure. And I think when you think of Bridezilla, then you're I'm just going to take a stab in the dark here. So you support weddings, clearly.
Absolutely.
And what can we expect in terms of support? What do you do?
So we have hair and makeup artists. I mean, I'm not a makeup artist. It's something I wish I'd kind of gone down that route, but not anymore. So we supply hair and makeup services for weddings and special occasions. You know, we do proms and things like that, but it's mainly weddings that we do. And our role is to, you know, in the morning of the wedding, well, right from the initial inquiry, I mean, we're there to support our brides through their whole wedding journey, from, you know, all ongoing support, lots of help, tips, kind of like their bridesmaids that they didn't know they had. You know, we're there to kind of just guide them through the whole process. Obviously, they've never done this before. We've done weddings thousands of times, so we kind of know how the process works. So we're here to kind of guide them through every step of the way, and, you know, be their support system, especially on the wedding morning itself.
So do they sort of come up with an idea and say, I want to look like this, or do you say, this is what I think would be better?
Yes. I mean, Pinterest these days has a lot to answer for. I feel that sometimes brides have maybe unrealistic expectations. Obviously, they're drawing all these Pinterest pictures, and we do encourage people to, brides to come in when they have their trial to show us what their inspiration pictures are, and then we will go from there. So if someone's hair we just know isn't going to do that style, it's not suitable, we will tell them. But equally, if they've got an idea in their head of this wedding hair of their dreams, we will do everything we can to create that. So whether that's adding in hair extensions, adding in some colour, just really trying to get as close as we can to their goals.
Wow. And do you sort of appeal to all ages, do you think, and all types of brides, or do you sort of tend to feel there's a particular type of mindset when it comes to brides that you'd appeal to?
I feel that we definitely, I would say our age bracket that we tend to attract is brides that are kind of late 20s through to sort of late 30s, early 40s as well. Brides that kind of have a really good understanding and clear knowledge of what they want, what kind of look they want to achieve. And also brides that are, like I say, quite particular because, we specialise in a niche, which is Hollywood glamour waves and more sleek luxe bridal buns. So we're not a jack of all trades. So, we do have particular brides that may have more boho style weddings. That's not something that we do. So we have really niched down. So we only attract the brides that want particular styles. And these brides tend to be getting married at more luxury venues,
right. Okay.
That kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can visualise what probably works and what wouldn't work for you. And have you had that before, where someone says, "I do want one of these, let's say, cowboy style type marriages, which I want you to prepare for," and you'll say, "Well, sadly."
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. You never want to be in the position, especially earlier on when you're starting your brand, to be turning away business. So, quite a few years ago, I'd take on everything and
Sure.
I'd do everything and I'd do all styles. But over the years, I feel like you can't be good at everything. You excel in certain areas, and the styles that I tend to enjoy, and I find are more classic styles. There's the type of styles that aren't going to age, the classic Hollywood waves, sleek bridal buns, but we tend to just put more of a modern twist on these classic versions, so that hopefully, brides in years to come, when they look back on the wedding photos, they're not going to think, why did I have that hairstyle? That was just in at the time.
Sure.
So we tend to go down the more kind of classic bridal route, definitely.
Fantastic. And what would you do? You'd rock up in the morning, I suppose. I mean, after a couple of meetings beforehand, I guess?
Absolutely, yeah. So from the initial inquiry, we have lots of consultations, and I tend to find that most brides will book with us a year, sometimes 2 years in advance. So we have that.
Wow.
It's quite a long process. It's not just about rocking up on the wedding morning, doing someone's hair, see you later. We have that constant connection with them, often for a good year. So we will get them in, we will chat to them, we will do our previews or trials. We like to call them previews because they can just get an insight into, we can try out different styles, different looks. And then we supply them, we keep in touch. We have newsletters going out. We give them tips and tricks on what's upcoming, what's trending, what things they might like to try. So we have that constant communication with them for a good year before the actual wedding.
Fabulous, fabulous. And if I were to ask you, what is the most glamorous setup that you've done? What would that look like?
The most glamorous setup that I've been to is actually a client of mine she contacted me through lockdown. She found me on Instagram, and she's actually based in Chicago, and she was getting married over here. And, we all know Americans love English heritage. She just wanted to get married in a real kind of amazing estate. So she got married at a place called Cliveden House, which is in Windsor.
Yes.
It was the first time I'd ever been there. And the minute I pulled up, I was like, wow, this is something else. This is where all the celebs get married. I think it was the bridal suite was where Meghan Markle got ready.
Really?
And I actually got lost in that bridal suite coming out of the toilet. It was so big, I had to find my way around. And that was when I thought, wow, this is what, real luxury wedding venues and, luxury brides are. And this is where I want to I want to be doing more of these.
Wow.
Definitely.
And what did you do?
So we did, again, a very classic style. I mean, the dress wasn't OTT, the hair wasn't OTT. It was very, very classic bridal bun, couple of bridesmaids, but just very classy and very elegant and sophisticated. The whole day was just amazing.
And she was happy?
She was very happy, yeah.
Brilliant.
Very
okay.
happy.
So how much should I budget then? I mean, for such a service like this? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you'd have to personalise it, but what should I have?
Yeah,
ready?
I mean, we try to... So in my business, I have packages. I don't have set prices as such. So we have 3 packages. So we have the classic Hollywood, we have the red carpet, and we also have the Golden Globe. So it just depends on
very American, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, because I kind of obviously specialise in this Hollywood glamour and things, that's why I've kind of named my
Sure.
packages. So we do have 3 packages that would suit, I would say, most people's budgets. So it just depends on what it is you want. So you're going to be looking at, say, for bridal hair and makeup, an investment anywhere between £350 for just the bride, anywhere up to £1,000. And then you have obviously other members of the bridal party as well, which we would add on for that. So I mean, I would say, numbers are getting bigger for bridal party members. I think it used to just be the classic bride, 2 bridesmaids or 3 bridesmaids. Now it's bride, 8 bridesmaids, mother of the bride, mother of the groom. God. They seem to be more adding on. So we can make and put together a bespoke package for everybody's individual needs, really.
And do you find men will make inquiries as well on behalf of or even as a gift?
Occasionally. I've had a couple of guys that have kind of taken the role of organising the wedding. I mean, I personally wouldn't want my husband to be organising the wedding. My
wife would take offence, I think, if I even offered an idea.
Yeah, but occasionally it happens, not very often.
Is that a market you'd be interested in? Do you think for men to sort of say, reach out to us, we can help if you're really lost?
Yeah, I mean, of course, if they want advice and they're looking to do something to surprise their, wife to be, then yeah, we'll always be here to offer them some advice and support, definitely. Okay,
so let's talk about stories then. And could I ask then, if I could ask for the most horrific...
Wow.
I'm sure you don't make mistakes. I'm sure you don't. However,
the most horrific. Wow. I think... Do you know what? I was actually, again, thinking in lockdown, this is a job for my retirement to write a book on
I can imagine.
Stories, because, I mean, I've had so many stories because I've been doing it 20-odd years. But I wouldn't say I've ever had anything horrific. There's been some really unfortunate instances with brides on wedding mornings where one in particular was just, I felt terrible for the bride. As she stepped outside, she was just about to get into the car to head to the venue, and it was an October wedding. A little bit of a blustery day, and she was stood on the grass, and the photographer was taking some pictures, and this big gust of wind came across the front of her dress, blew a load of leaves, and unfortunately one of the leaves had some dog poo, shall we say, straight across the front of the dress. So it's not nice. It's not good. It's not good. There's lots of different, unfortunately, scenarios. I've had a bridesmaid that's gone in to get herself ready where the dress was hanging up, decided to put fake tan on her legs and got that over the back of the dress about half an hour before she was due to walk down the aisle. So, there's lots of other roles I find myself doing on wedding mornings that, aren't always, in our job description, but, we're there to help.
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm sure there'll be a lot more stories, and maybe when you come back to more programs. So how about you? I mean, what are your hobbies? What do you do when you're not doing this?
When I'm not doing this, I feel like everyone in my family thinks I just live and breathe my job. I do have 2 children, 2 teenagers, so they can be quite challenging at times. So yeah, I enjoy just normal stuff. I love travelling, so I do live for my holidays. I do love to go away.
Favourite country?
Oh, so many. Australia. I think
really?
Yeah, I love Australia. I almost moved there when I was younger, and then I just didn't quite have the courage to leave everyone behind. But Australia is definitely a place that I just love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anywhere else?
I was actually born in America. I was born in New Jersey.
That's why everything's American.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think so.
Do you think?
I think so.
Maybe like subconsciously.
I think so.
Yeah, maybe part of me.
So you're born in America?
I was born in New Jersey, just outside New York.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So, I've obviously been over there a few times. It's never been somewhere that I've wanted to kind of root down and live. But, yeah, certainly
Fantastic.
a lot of nice places in America to visit.
Right, hobbies other than travel. You know, when you are on a weekend.
On a weekend, I'm not really very sporty. I know it's bad, but I hate exercise. So I wouldn't say my hobbies are going to the gym or anything like that. But I do just enjoy spending time with family and friends. You know, my kids are obviously a massive part of my life. We like to do lots of, you know, I would say, like I said, I'm not very sporty, but I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. I do like kind of going out and doing a few. I mean, we did that zip wire.
Oh no!
You know, the longer
Are you kidding?
in
You've
Wales.
done that.
We did that last year, and I was like the instigator
Why?
behind it.
Why would you do that?
No, you know. So I think I have a little bit of a adrenaline kind of junkie in me that I like to kind of throw myself into these situations and just kind of conquer some fears. And so yeah, kind of, you know, that kind of stuff I'm all up for. You know, we did quad biking,
Oh, wow, okay.
you know, in the desert when we went to Egypt last year, you know, and again
I was in Egypt 2 weeks ago.
Were you? Love Egypt.
Where did you go?
We went to Sharm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
Fair
went
enough.
last year. So yeah, and again, that was me instigating. Come on, let's go quad biking. You know, so yeah, I would say those kind of hobbies I enjoy doing, definitely.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, how about some controversy? Shall I think of a controversial question to ask you and see
Okay.
how you get on? Oh, I've got a perfect one, and you'll love this.
Okay.
Marriage. Is it outdated, do you think? Given the business that you run? Because some
No.
people will say,
I
have a
don't-
different view.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own views. Weddings and marriages, I think, in honesty, I think sometimes some people can get lost in the moment and not actually think about what they're actually, you know, doing. So sometimes weddings can be they can just go off on a tangent and get so extravagant and not actually, you know, the meaning behind it. And I'm actually personally in favour of these small weddings. I found like after lockdown, you know, people are just having these little more intimate
Sure.
kind of, you know, weddings. One of my best friends is getting married later on this year in Greece, and she's invited 5 friends. Her husband to be's invited 5 friends, and we're just all going to go out there and have a little bit of holiday and just a nice little wedding at the same time because they just want to have it more intimate. And I think, you know, there's something special about that, definitely.
I think there was 14 people at our wedding,
Yeah.
and 4 of them was me, my wife, and 2 children.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's quite small.
It's quite nice, yeah.
And we were at a great place, and I can't remember the name now. It was a dairy farm originally. Hartwell House.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was called. Lovely place. So you anyway. So you're in favour anyway, aren't you? You're going to be in favour of that, aren't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, look, how do you feel about your first ever podcast?
I feel good now.
Do you?
I was a bit nervous because this is something I've like never done before, but I thought I just need to put my big girl pants on and
You
just
did
do
start
it.
to change colour. I have to
Did
say
I?
as you walked in, so you're back
Yeah,
to normal
it's
again.
my colour come back in my face now. Okay.
Totally. Would
Good.
you do this again?
I would definitely do this again.
Brilliant. Well, look, it's been a pleasure to meet you, Kelly, and learn a
And
bit
you.
about you. And I think we're going to do a few more, aren't we?
Definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to kind of see where this goes.
So if we were going to do more programmes, what would you like to talk about?
I feel like I want to kind of have a really good mix of topics. You know, to my bride-to-bees, to, you know, other wedding suppliers. I feel like, you know, we can cover a lot of topics on up and coming trends, lots of hints and tips on different makeup looks, how to apply things, and, you know, there's a lot of topics we could cover within the wedding industry for sure.
I think there is, and I did make a note of one of your strap lines here. Beauty meets empowerment. So to close, tell us, what is it about beauty meets empowerment?
I just feel, you know, with wedding hair and makeup, it's one of the most important investments a bride's going to make on a wedding day. And we're not there to make people not look like themselves. You know, we're not there to make anyone look different so their husband, you know, doesn't even recognise them when they walk down the aisle. We're there to just give our brides the confidence that they need to step down the aisle and just feel the best versions of themselves. You know, just empower them to feel like, do you know what, I feel amazing today. I feel great. I look great. You know, and that's our goal. You know, we're here to just really empower these women to just look and feel their best.
Brilliant. Well, we look forward to hearing more about that on our next programmes.
Amazing.
Kelly, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
And we'll see you all soon.
Thank you so much.